Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the SimRacingHub F1 Championship. This is round 8, and we're live at Österreiching, which is the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Spielberg, you can name it however you want. This is an exciting track, and leading our Drivers' Championship, coming off 2 nice victories, is our Genus Riera for the Aston Martin team, leading with exactly 14 points, if I'm not mistaken, over Josh Mills in second position for the Red Bull team. So these drivers have been fighting it off since the start of the season, but Riera is very much in control since 2 races. In third position, we have Janos Magasrevi, and then Otto Acosta in fourth, and Glenn Cooper in fifth position. This wraps up our top 5 for the Drivers' Championship. As I said, this is round 8. We have an exciting race today. You're live on the GTCQ TV. And we're supposed to be joined by my usual partner in crime for this season, Matt Hartley. Although he's suffering for a little technical difficulties, his computer is locked, so he might join us later in the program. So we have a good race tonight, an exciting one. Coming off Snooze Fest, like we said, in Monaco, and an exciting race at some points in Canada. Red Bull Ring shouldn't disappoint. This is a track that even in real life or in sim racing that provides great battles, and I'm pretty sure that our drivers will overtake each other all over the race. I have to say that today the spec for the tires are C3, C4, and C5. For those who don't know that track, this is a track that's been on a calendar for a long time. It used to be in Formula One under the name Österreichring, because, you know, Austria. And then it became A1 Ring back in the day when I started to play video games with the Formula One games. And it disappeared for the calendar, been bought by Red Bull with Dietrich Mateschitz. And then they redid the circuit, and now it's one of the most exciting track that you can have on the calendar. So let's talk about the Drivers' Championship. Of course, we had a great battle since the start between Argenis Riera and Josh Mills. Now, since 2 races, we have seen Riera very much in control, and Josh Mills not being able to cope with the speed that Riera is producing. So, I think we might have someone coming. Is that you, Matt?
It is me.
Oh, nice. You just missed our intro. How you doing?
I've been trying to prove myself for the last 30 minutes to Microsoft that I do exist. I'm a human. I have 3 cats, and then these are their names. And somehow got logged out of everything. So apologies about that, but
it's okay. It's okay
now. So
well, very nice to have you, because we just did a little intro. We talked about the Drivers' Championship. You missed the 2 last races. That's not really true. I think you watched them, but you were not with me to describe them. And I was actually talking about the Red Bull Ring, which is an exciting track. So since you just came in, how about you give us your 2 cents on this track?
Definitely will. It's a very fast circuit, low downforce. It's interesting of how low you can go. I did hear, how low can you go? Did hear during the week that a few drivers were trying to run almost the minimum downforce, like Monza downforce. They were trying to give it a go. So I think that's the challenge with this track. Obviously, there's some big straights. You've got 3 big straights going into turn 1, into turn 3, and then into turn 4. A little bit of a twisty section, but only 10 turns, so the track is kind of over before it even begins. Elevation changes and a lot of hard braking areas as well, so we'll see whether brakes become a little bit of an issue, because you do have 3 very hard braking points, like I said, into 1, 3, and 4.
Yeah, you mentioned 10 turns, and like we saw in Imola, we're not, you and I are not fans of turns that are not turns, and turn number 2 is very much not really a turn. So sometimes people say, "I
Where is
turn,"
it?
yeah. So we have 10 turns, but consider that the second hard break point where a lot of passing happens, and which is also the slowest corner on the track, is corner number 3. For those who would love to look at the track layout, you're more than welcome to go on the SimRacingHub F1. I think it's SimRacingHub.com. Sorry, you can watch the track layout there. So, Matt, talking about performance overtaking in this track, usually when I do sim racing, we don't race much Formula One, so turn 1 is not really an option usually because you lose a lot of momentum for the straight between 1 and 3. So, will we see perhaps more overtakings? It's Formula One with the DRS and the high drag and the high slipstream. Will we see a lot of passes in turn 1 compared to what we would see in other categories, you think?
I don't think so. Not just one is just it closes up. It's blind too, and that's the one thing. When we do ride on board with some drivers, you will see that it's a blind fast turn. There's lots of runoff area, so sometimes there's a big collision pretty much into one, unless you're already alongside. I did have a few RG barges with a couple of drivers over the years, and into one, but usually it's just safer to wait for 3, and it's even safer, honestly, to wait for 4, because traction coming out of 3 is a big problem, and I think you'll start to see quite a few of the guys struggling, especially on used tires. Trying to come out of turn 3 with all of the elevation change and off camber, you're going to see some guys really struggling to put the grip down and be a bit of a sitting duck, quack quack, on the straight going into turn 4.
Well, you're right. Most accidents happen there, with whatever the category is. So I was talking about Riera and Mills. Fighting it out since the start of the season. Now, for the past 2 races, the one you missed, but you saw, Riera was very much in control. So Josh Mills really needs to bounce back and get a good performance on his home track since he's from the Red Bull team. Do you think he can pull it off tonight?
100%. I think it's pretty. These guys have been pretty close, like I said, except for the last 3 races. But one of those races is Monaco, and honestly, at Monaco, being several laps down, you can still be on the podium in sim racing, because obviously it is very, very difficult when you're looking at a computer screen to not touch one of these walls over a long period of time. Janice made it look easy, of course. But no, Mills is still right there. There shouldn't be any question whatsoever that he can keep it. And just looking at the times right now in warm-up, it looks like it might not even be, hopefully, we might not even just have a 2-way fight, which would be really exciting, because Zeke Montero, we haven't seen him a lot. He's been driving for every team this year.
Yeah.
He can keep up with these guys, no problem, in the past. So I think that's another sleeper pick for today, would be maybe Ezekiel Montero. And Janos Magistrefi, I think he's finished 3rd in pretty much every race since 1946 recently. So he's pretty much locked in for 3rd, and right now he's 3rd on the warm-up. So
he's the best of the rest. And speaking of Zeke Montero, he's back for Mercedes this time around. Of course, since he's doing the ringer job every now and then, it will happen that he comes back for the same team. And we have actually... Oh, you're actually on the track, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, wonderful.
Because I see. Yeah, I saw 21 drivers, and then I saw your name.
I'm gonna leave then. Even better. See, I didn't tell you I was gonna do both today.
No, I was not. I've done that, with Jas, our producer. I've done that with the Derby. I used to comment and race at the same time, but it was a Derby, so it was a little bit. It was a little bit lighter, and it was much fun. But sometimes he lost me during the broadcast because I was too focused, and then I reappeared. So As I said,
Old
well,
habits.
I'm really happy to have you today because we're gonna have fun on the Red Bull Ring. So what time is it? My water's we're 1 minute away from the start of the quali.
Your water can tell time? That is amazing.
My water is actually not telling me time. It's actually hiding the time on my other screen. But I would love to talk about the team standing before we go to the quali.
Let's do it.
Red Bull Racing is leading. Although it's an Aston Martin driver that leads the Drivers' Championship, Red Bull Racing, with a few performances by Jean-Pierre Lalancette, managed to gain some points and got over Aston Martin. Of course, Aston Martin, the second driver, I think it's Ricardo Senior, failed to score good points. And we have the McLaren team, which usually in the top of the in the top of the midfield that are scoring good points, so they're on top of the let's say the best of the rest, like we said. So let's hope for them to have a good race today, because we like those McLaren drivers. They're providing us with good performances all season long. So the drivers are actually in the pits, and they're going to go on the track soon. Let's have a look on the live. Who do we have today? Do we have our usual partner in crimes?
Or have they been arrested for those crimes?
I don't know. Let's see, because usually we have Josh Mills' girlfriend. We have a few friends of mine, a few regulars from the GTCQ environment. Friends of ours, producers. Yeah. I'm gonna wait a little bit because I don't think the chat is really up by now. I'm gonna go trackside, and
one thing we do have going for us today is, once again, first guy on the track is our Argenis Riera. Put in the first lap. I don't know, how does this keep happening, guys?
I think he bribed somebody. He probably bribed the marshals.
You know, it means nothing, but yet I would just want to do something to try and disrupt this guy. We're going to give him a clean, beautiful circuit. He's used to leading. He's used to having a clear piece of track. And right now, everything's going well. So let's ride on board with our Argenis Riera. We're coming into turn 10. We obviously have to keep two wheels on the track, which is going to be a big thing today. Going down the straight, we're going to hit into 8th gear. And this is the blind corner. Not completely blind like in real life. And doesn't use too much runoff on the exit. Nice smooth ride for him.
Yeah, well done.
Nice up again into 8th gear. That was turn 2. You missed it. Into turn 3. Deep braking. Oh, he missed the apex
a little bit.
Yeah, but not the end of the world. Maybe lost a 1/10 of a second. It's kind of crazy that like, oh, there's a 10th. But these drivers just know. They just know. This is a great turn, but luckily, as long as you don't completely outbrake yourself, the camber will dive you back into the corner. This is where the track does start to get a little bit tricky, the long left-hander, and then use all the curb, because then it's going to line you up for another long left-hander. And the reason why this is tricky is because guys are running lower downforce. And then these are the two turns that make the entire lap. You've got to hit the apex, which he does beautifully. He doesn't run too wide. You got to hit the apex again, which he does.
Wow.
And doesn't. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
so we'll see what lap
done.
time he can do.
And we have 103.1.
That's fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
first lap.
Isn't that the fastest lap we saw from practice and quali together?
It's right up there. He did not, and this is why you can't let him get on the track first, because he's already put up a 103.1. Mills with a 103.7. Elise tape 103.6.
Ooh, nice.
Jumps into second place for the Haas. That is a great result. Here come all the times flying in now. Jean-Pierre Lalancette, 103.8. And then we have the stragglers running around in the 195s. But those guys will start to speed up very quickly. Expect the times to be quite close here, to be honest with you, because it is such a short lap.
Yeah.
I mean, 103 is almost sub-minute. So I
think is it the quickest lap in the calendar? I think it is.
Yes, I believe so, yeah. Janos Magistrevi pops into second place. 103.4. That is a quick time for the Mercedes.
Exactly.
Where is Zeke Montero? Let's take a look. Can we find what's going on with Zeke Montero? Because I would think he's on
track. He's going back into pits.
Okay.
Yeah, he might have botched a lap and decided to get back into pits because he has yet to put a time on.
Yep, I just saw Magasrevi having a moment. Riera's already put in the fastest lap and then found his way back around to the pits, is back out again after pitting. This is bonkers. There's 6 minutes to go. You can put in a lot of laps in this time. There's just such a short track. Riera's going to get another probably 2 goes at trying to beat and getting to 102s, which would be quite the statement.
And we have on the live, Matt, we have Janos Magasrevi, who was there, so he's probably not too bothered by driving because he was talking to us, and we got no specifics. So Josh Mills' girlfriend, she slept last week before the race, so she missed it. And we got
do well.
Yeah. So, and we have Elise Tapes supporter here by Hakim Lassini. Nice. So we're gonna have more people on the live soon.
So right now, I'd like to go on board now with Ezekiel Montero. He's going to come up to the last turn, so he's P18 right now, but obviously that's all going to change.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, he slowed down.
Really,
that's too. But that's too much. I think. That's too slow. Yeah.
Definitely agree with you there. So we're going to come up. Is it going to look as clean or is it going to look super aggressive? Oh, a couple turns in. Oh, and then on this. Definitely not feeling the love of this car. He was kind of turning in once, twice, 3 times a lady to see if it gripped into 1. Let's see how it does around 2 beautifully. And then into turn 3.
Sorry. Lots of drivers, they got turn 2 very well.
Yes, exactly. It's a really big challenge. This corner, though, by the way, into 4, again, you can see a couple turn-ins from Montero. He's really unsure about the grip and the turn-in, and he's really not struggling for room on the outside of the circuit, so possibly too much front-end grip or too much wing on that car will make it nice and loose, but it does look a little frisky. We've got some traffic coming up. That traffic is not getting out of the way, which is very distracting.
Whoa!
No.
That was close.
That's a penalty. That is a guaranteed stone wall penalty.
Do you think Zeke Montero went a little bit too wide on the last curve? I think that was limit, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and he might get away with it just simply because of the obstruction, which I'm not sure what was going on there. Was it? Who was it? I'm trying to figure out who it was.
I think that was a Haas car.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Might have been a Haas car.
Yeah.
But you talked about front wing, and in turn 4, I saw Zeke Montero biting too much. So he didn't take all the track. He didn't go that much wide on the left side. Looked like he really misjudged the speed of that curve. But he's gonna get the hang of it.
So we got Glenn Cooper is on a lap. So he hasn't really put in a fast lap yet for McLaren, down in 15th spot. Go on board with him. So we're going to go again, round turn 2. Beautifully done. Brake as late as you can into 3. This is the real game. It really feels, the big understeer in the middle of the corner. But it really feels good when you shove the brakes as late as you possibly can. If you can do a pass into turn 3, then you can marry anybody. Because the ladies love that. Nice clip of the curb from Cooper around turn 4.
We got Jonathan and Kevin Spain on the live. Tape my king for Jonathan, and let's go Milsey from Kevin Spain. So we love to see supporters.
Yeah, and Tape right now is beating Mills at P3. Cooper's going to come around the last 2 turns. Let's see if that McLaren can be up there. Cooper can sometimes surprise and put in a really fast time, so let's just keep on board. Montero improved to 6th. Cooper only 11th.
So
struggling.
104.
Otto Acosta P8, so he's struggling as well. So that McLaren not looking as hot as it has done in previous races. But Elise Tape in P3 is great. Janos Magasrevi is only 0.2 of a second away from Dennis Riera. And he's going to go back out for another lap. Is this correct? He's got 2 minutes left.
I think he will.
Right. I think he'll get another lap in.
So Josh Mills is probably on an out lap right now.
Yep. So Tape is already on, I believe, on an out lap. Magasrevi is going again. Riera is gonna go again as well. All these guys are gonna get another run just simply because of the such short distance.
Exactly. But Riera has yet to improve his time.
Yeah, he put that one first lap in, and And look at the traffic now. Magus Revi's trying to get out of the way of the traffic because now it's such a short lap. A lot of guys are on the track.
Mills about to start a hot lap.
Perfect. Glenn Cooper just improved, but only to P10. Walcott is up to 6th. So Richard Walcott, he's struggling with a bit of understeer on that Ferrari though. But it's still 6 is pretty good for Walcott, who's a better driver in the race typically than in qualifying. Understeered so far wide into turn 1. I think he was giving up on that one. There was an ocean between him and the apex. So let's see.
We got a McLaren in front of Mills. He's trying to take the slipstream a little bit.
So Mills is on a hot lap. So let's see how
he's between 3 and 4.
Beautiful. So Mills is you don't need to worry too much about the curb there. The camber's gonna help you out around the corner. And let's just see these last 4 turns. There's only 4 turns really now between now and the finish, but there are long corners and you have to nail them as fast as you can. Understeer just keeps it on the road. Car's not looking that hooked up, but again, 103.6 is not a slow time by any means. But understeer, I worry about turn 10. He took a lot of curb.
Ooh, he almost lost it.
Too much curb, and it's
so 103.6, and Mills will start at the best in 4th position. Who do we have on track that could...
Interesting. So Riera started the lap behind Magus Revi, but he's now ahead of Magus Revi. So Janos must have either made a mistake or given up on the lap. Riera has overtaken Magus Revi on this lap, so let's keep an eye on Riera because it might just pop in a 102 here, which would get me singing fa la 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 la. So let's see if he can do the 102.
His car looks so stable. This is incredible.
And it's a fast circuit. It's very hard to time these apex this smoothly. And you see how much it didn't even bother the car. Didn't even bother the car. The car was fine.
And look, he improved by 9 thousandths of a second. Just that. Yeah, talk about being regular. Talk about consistency.
Woof. It'll be a long day. If you're that hooked up in qualifying to do that many hot laps, then that car is race ready. So I think it could be another one of these days for everybody chasing Argenis Riera. The times are a lot closer, like very impressive. Only 3.92 behind for Elise Tape in 3rd. Mills has to settle for 4th. Montero did find his way hustling that car around in 5th, but just doesn't seem... I mean, his teammate is in 2nd, so it just doesn't seem like he's fully happy with that car.
And we have Jean-Pierre Lalancette for the Red Bull team in 6th position. So this is a good starting spot for the 2 Red Bull drivers in order to score points for the Drivers' Championship. Richard Walcott will start in 7th position. Otto Acosta in 8th and Bill Whirl in 9th. Glenn Cooper in 10th position wraps up the top 10 for the start of this race. Rapidly 11 to 20. Ricardo Sr., Juan del Castillo, Señor El Fuego for the Renault team in 12. Stefan Brotherson 13. Jeff Oppenheim in 14. Ricky Haney in 15. Thomas Shepard 16. Tony Mitsalis 17. Sean Higgins in 18th position. Cliff Van Leeuwaard in 19. And your captain, John Cook, 20th, wraps up all the order.
Captains love to steer the ship from the back. So
really, well, we saw a lot of drivers coming from the back of the field. I think that might have been Sean Higgins or Glenn Cooper lately that started last.
Walcott 2 in Canada, I think, right? Started right near the back.
Yeah, you're right. So, they made their way to the front. So, Riera very much in control of his car. Only 2/10. That's 2/10 above Janos Magus Revi. So I miss Janos' lap, unfortunately, but he must have been in control as well, because Elise Tape is another 2/10 behind Magus Revi. Mills 1/10 behind Tape. So we still have 7 drivers in the 103. Nobody went under the 102. The laps in the race will probably go around the 106s, I presume, going down.
And the thing is, I can't express enough how difficult it is to put in lap times like this. Like the guys in the second half of the grid, like Sean Higgins in 18th place. Sean's a quick guy. He's a quick driver. And he's, in 18th place. Richard Haney, 15th, experience, years of experience. Jeff and Oppenheim, years of experience. Castillo in 12th. Cooper only in 10th. Like, Cooper's a former champion. Like, these are fast guys that are racing against, and this is just showing how much on rails that car that Riera has. I popped into the server earlier today, and he was pumping some laps in, and it just seemed calm. Everything just seems controlled and calm, and it's just really impressive to kind of watch and see. So, be interesting to see the start. There's a few teams, like you said, Red Bull. So Mills is 4th and Lalandsat is 6th, which means they start directly behind each other. Walcott is 7th and Worrell is 9th, which means teammates again start directly behind each other. And Ottawa Costa is 8th and Cooper is 10th, which means the McLarens also start directly behind each other. So it's almost like you need your teammate to get a good start, so that way you can get a good start.
Let's hope we won't have any crashes in turn 1. And you talked about penalties earlier. So in the real life, when we watch the that Formula 1 Grand Prix, we see a few penalties, especially coming out of turn 9, time 9 or 10. But also, is turn 1 maybe a place where people can grab a penalty? Because in my sim racing, there's a lot of penalties that being given at turn 1.
Yep, it can happen. It can happen actually around every single turn on this circuit except turn 2. If you get a penalty at turn 2, you need a new hobby.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
But no, it can happen. The game is quite lenient. You get several warnings before you get even an official warning. And then once you get the official warning, then you start looking at drive-throughs and stuff like that. So if we do see guys kind of doing a little look through the pit lane midway through the day, that could be related to penalties. The other thing is we obviously do have stewards that will watch the race, and at the end of the race, they will review certain incidents so guys can potentially protest other guys to see if they believe that they had found an advantage by continuously running off the track. It's not something that you'll usually use in qualifying, but in the race, if you feel like you're following a guy and you see him constantly going over, then definitely something becomes something that you can push forward to the stewards.
And you mentioned how hard it is to put a fast lap here, and while you mention it, I mentioned to the viewers lately that I finally got a screen which I can play that game with. So I plugged my sim rig to play that game, and guess what? I really had troubles going fast in this track, because when I got out of the pit and I took a car to practice just to feel the groove of the car, I couldn't go above the pit limit. And I was wondering if I had a problem with my sim rig or everything, and somebody told me that I had my pit limiter still on. So I have yet to figure out how to unmap it, but for the next race, it should be all right.
It's one of them, yeah. It's one of the buttons, and it's good fun. But that just shows you that setting things up and even getting into the room and putting all the buttons in and getting everything right. And sometimes you can put all this work in and you make a single mistake on assigning a map button, and all of a sudden you mess up the camera or something like that in the race. Or it is a lot of detail that goes in. And the only thing I can say, the more laps that you do, the more normal race day becomes, right? If you're a type of guy that does have the time to come on almost every evening, then an evening run of the laps doesn't make the race kind of any different. And I think that it'll be great to see you kind of out there and running some laps around. Don't think there'll be many people coming from the back in this race. I think Ottawa Costa did it last year or 2 years ago. But the problem with this track is because it's so short, you get lapped very quickly. So if you start near the back, you're not racing against the guys at the back. You're racing against Argenis Riera right from the get-go, because he's going to come around and lap you, which obviously then is going to limit your chances of ever unlapping yourself. So it'll be an interesting race for sure. There's glad to see 20 cars out there.
Yeah, very much. I think it might be the second time we had 20 cars.
Yeah.
There's always
21.
around.
We had 21 cars.
Yeah, we had 21 at
But,
some point, so yeah. We have 24 seconds left in a warm-up right now.
So it's going to come around very quickly. And that's one thing I really like about SimRacingHub recently is that the last couple of years, they've really tried to streamline what can be a bit of a mundane process. Some sim leagues will do qualifying a full day before the race, and they'll really drag it out.
Okay.
We have one qualifying session. We don't have Q1, Q2 through 3 or anything like that anymore. We have one session. Then you have a, 4-minute warm-up. Just enough time.
I think it's 5. I think it's 5. Yeah.
5, yeah, and then you're doing the formation lap, and away you go.
Yeah.
So we they were always talks about getting rid of the formation lap, but drivers do kind of like it, and also we find that there's even more crashes if you get rid of the formation lap because guys just have an itchy trigger finger a little bit more sitting there still, rather than at least you've had experience of kind of moving the wheel around. So we'll see what happens. Very, very interesting to see if anybody can beat Argenis Riera, even into turn 1. How aggressive will Janos Magasrevi be and Elise Tate? Because you would think that they would have to get ahead of Riera to really stand a chance. And you could launch one into turn 3 if you really want to disrupt things. So let's see if we have some fun.
We might see some tire strategies come into play here. If, let's say, Janos starting in second position wants to overtake Argenis Riera at the start, he might start on a softer compound in order to get a better launch. That's a thing that can happen. Although the game has provided us with a few glitches, on the colors of the tires. Sometimes we think a driver is on a certain type of tires, although he's totally on the other, and then it evens out after maybe half a lap.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going out.
Maybe we'll go through the order one more time, and then that way it'll give the circuit some time to kind of review what tires that are on. So we'll wait for the cars to kind of come up, and then we can start. Maybe I can do odds. You can do evens.
All right, let's do this.
It's the lull before the storm. The engines are warming. The gentleman in the marshal box is waving a green flag. That's a trick. He's trying to trick you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hate that guy. I think his name is Steve. So don't.
You know him? Yeah. I've heard about him.
All right, here we go. So I think first we have Argenis Riera for Aston Martin. 103.1, almost dipped into the 102s. Very, very fast, looking for this will be his third win in a row, correct?
Yeah, and then second we have Janos Magasrevi for the Mercedes team with a 103.3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, 0.2 further behind there, or nearest offer. Elise Tate for Haas.
Josh Mills for the Red Bull Racing team.
P5, Zeke Montero. Sleep on him if you will, but I will not.
In 6, Jean-Pierre Lalancette, the second Red Bull driver, and the name I really like to pronounce because I'm the only one here who can really pronounce it well.
I'm glad that you had it. In P7, the first of 1 Bermudans in the field, Richard Walcott.
Followed by Otto Acosta for the McLaren team. We like those McLaren drivers, always good action from them.
OTTO is followed up by Bill WRREL. Not quite as juicy with the nickname, but Bill Worrell will be in P9.
Yeah, and following Worrell, which is not a easy customer to overtake, Glenn Cooper in 10th for the McLaren.
Ricardo Sr. is P11 for Aston Martin, just outside the top 10.
Followed by Stefan Brotherson for the Alfa Romeo team.
Followed by his teammate, Jeff Oppenheim, for the Alfa Romeo team.
In 14, Juan del Castillo, Señor El Fuego for the Renault team. Oh, Alpine, sorry.
Richard Haney, P15.
Thomas Shepard in 16.
Mitsalis, 17.
Sean Higgins, the lawnmower man, in 18th.
Cliff Van Leeuward is 19th.
And closing the field, Captain John Cook for Alpine, and my camera is going back to Argenis Riera up front.
I'm just looking at the tires. It looks like they just reset. Well, we already have lights out.
Yeah, 5 lights. Lights out, and the race is on at the Red Bull Ring. Argenis Riera having a good start, followed by Janos Magasrevi, and Josh Mills already in 3rd position.
A bad start from Tape. Oh, there's a good, really wide. Walcott went really wide along with Tape, and now we have side-by-side action with Montero and Walcott.
And Mills, is he going to try it at turn 3? No.
He's going to have
and Janos Magasrevi bad relaunch at turn 3, so Mills is going to take advantage of that.
Argenis Riera has gone. He has left the building.
Oh, wow. Good move by Janos Magasrevi. Look at that.
So Magasrevi is being aggressive. He has no chance of attacking Riera, but he's held on to Mills. Lalancet is P4, so he's had a good start. Elise Tape with a terrible start all the way down to P7.
Unfortunate for Tape.
He really did a good job in qualifying. Looked like he didn't move, like he was really delayed on the start. So that'll be interesting to kind of see if that happened. Oh, big understeer for Mills trying to follow Magasrevi. Magasrevi took beautiful.
Yeah, well Magasrevi had a bad turn 3 in the lap 1, so Mills was side by side with him, but he might have a little less downforce because he managed to get back in front of him and take back the position. Well, I mean keep the position.
Mills. Here comes Mills.
Yes, sir.
Mills is going to go turn 2. No, didn't quite get it done at 2, but had a look into 3, but he's going to get great traction.
Look at the relaunch. Same thing.
Oh, yeah. Magasrevi struggling with the Mercedes there out of turn 3.
Mills has the position.
And the DRS. Mills already has the DRS open. So Janos Magasrevi, no chance of overtaking him into 4. It looks like that's going to be Riera and Mills on again.
So Mills not losing 1 bit of a second trying to get as close as he can to Riera, and the gap between the two is only 1.5 to 2 seconds right now.
If you're looking at the tires, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all on mediums, and then Otto Acosta, the first guy with the alternate strategy. Oh, Double TO loves an alternate strategy. In P8, he's starting on the hards, so we'll have to keep a good eye on him. Then we have a few other guys on mediums as well. So it looks like OTO is almost on his own all the way down until the Williams is on the hards as well, which is Haney.
Josh Mills reduced the gap a little bit. He's now just 1.3 behind Argenis Riera.
Tape and Walcott. Walcott's trying to overtake Tape. Actually, Tape got by Walcott, so Tape is coming back through the field. Walcott struggling for pace a little bit early on with the Ferrari. Tape breezed past him and is trying to catch back up for that earlier mistake.
Well, Tape is in front of a little train, so he's the only one who's not going to take advantage of the DRS right here.
And look at how far Magasrevi has fallen back already. So we'll see what's going. Yeah, he's already dropped way back, and then there's now a battle behind him.
Yeah, he's under. Well, he might be under attack by Jean-Pierre Lalancet in a lap or two if things stick the same. The difference between the two is 7/10.
We still have all runners, which is very exciting. Nobody put it into the kitty litter early on, so that's great. So we have.
Well done about that.
So Aston Martin's still leading to Josh Mills. Mills only 1.4 behind him. So I did say Argenis Riera had gone.
Lalancet on the right side, inside at. He's gonna. Oh, turn 2.
Turn 2.
Yeah, turn 2. Nicely done. Not even hard to do from Lalancet. And now you got, I think, Zeke Montero and Janos Magasrevi, the two teammates for Mercedes, back to back. But can Janos get that position back from Jean-Pierre?
I don't think so. I think Jean-Pierre, that is a little bit of an understated move, actually. That's a big guy to overtake, and he did it quite easily. Some really good pace from Lalancet early on. He started 6th. He's already up to 3rd in the Red Bull, and he's chasing his teammate down. It's kind of it's like one of those races where Sergio Perez actually shows up and does something.
Right.
Right, which is very rare, but yeah. Oh, he got really... Oh, the commentator's curse! You mentioned the name Perez and you automatically touch the grass.
Oh, we are so sorry about that, but the reaction by Janos Magasrevi
Oh, he's going to launch it. Oof.
Yeah, almost. I think. Oh,
almost
incredible
lost it.
slide right there from Janos Magasrivi. I just marked the replay event in case we want to see that back again.
That was amazing. I don't know how he held it. And that's what happens. You'll notice very easily here. We do run with a live road. So basically, the rubber throughout the week, when you first go onto the server, the first day, the track is green. There's no rubber down. And then as more and more drivers put laps in, the more and more rubber goes down. So if you get off that rubber racing line, that's what happens. And it's amazing that he managed to hold that.
That was rather impressive.
But it's not going to do anything good for his tires. I can promise you that. And Janos will be, he might be pitting quite early in that one. So Tape is still held on from Walcott. He's started to pull away just slightly. Walcott's actually kind of steadied the ship. But Otto Acosta's sitting right there with these guys on the hards, which is really, really, really impressive. Acosta is using all of the road and then some. Like, Acosta's basically in Switzerland while all these guys are in Austria. He's rubbing every single piece of track that he can, but he's on the hard tires and he's making them work. So Costa just keeps doing these things, where all of a sudden you forget about him and he comes back.
Yeah, that's what's impressive from Otto Acosta, because staying behind these two drivers with the medium compound, he has the best operation right now. Imagine his tires will get on a better window of performance in a few laps. While the two drivers in front of him, the performance will decrease in a few laps. Well, a few laps. It should be, maybe another 6, I guess. I don't know. But
yeah, I mean, 71 laps is a long, long time. There was just an overtake. Sean Higgins coming up through the field. We said he was in P18. We thought that was a wrong place for him. He's up to P15 now. He overtook Jeff Oppenheim. And the captain, John Cook, is already up to P18. So he's overtaken Metzalis and Vanley Ward. So there is still battles. We do focus on the front guys for obvious reasons. That's where the points.
Yes, sir.
That's where the points are made. That's where the money is made. But none of these guys, of course, making any money. Well, actually, we don't know. I
have no clue. Seriously, but sim racing is not a career that is really lucrative, but it's so much fun.
Maybe
Mills and Riera, 2 seconds apart.
Yeah, Riera is starting to pull away, so my initial reaction of Riera's gone. But Mills put in a 106.7, so he's right there on lap times, but Riera's consistency, we did see it in qualifying, and we're seeing it again.
True that. Lalancette and Magasrevi still going at it. Magasrevi not letting Lalancette out of his sight. And Tape and Walcott
confused. He's been overtaken. Oh, he's probably confused. He's been overtaken by 2 Red Bulls already today.
Yeah, right. Maybe he thought it was Mills twice.
Yeah, he's already getting lapped. Maybe he's getting worried. But yeah, it's interesting that we have Red Bull, Mercedes for the constructors. 2, 3, 4, 5. So.
And in that meantime, the McLaren drivers are 8th and 10th.
Let's have a look at Walcott. Walcott is definitely having a look at Elise Tape.
Oh, yeah, I think he's going to try it maybe there at turn 2. Oh, yep. Turn 3. 2 and 3.
Now you're going to park it on the apex. No, you see, you can't allow the guy.
Switcheroo right here, but no.
Yep. No, because here comes Tape with the DRS. Tape's going to come right back on Walcott.
Oh, wow. Great battle by Tape and Walcott right here. Tape on the inside of turn 4. Another switcheroo, perhaps. Walcott with a Ferrari, no.
But he's going to be right there. He could. Oof.
Don't forget Acosta behind them, because they're losing time. They're losing time a lot, and that gives Acosta a chance to close the gap.
I wonder if they know whether Acosta is on the hard tires, because he's kind of sitting there right now, knowing that he has an advantage over these guys. It was a bold move for Acosta to start on the hard tires. We remember Spain. Acosta crashed on lap 1 because he started on those ugly hard tires.
Oh yeah, I remember.
He's managed to get through that lap, and now it's starting to really pay dividends. So it's risk reward right now. He's definitely paying the reward. So Walcott's a little bit too far back. Higgins is out. So Sean Higgins has been the first retirement.
Well, he was already in 15th position, if I'm not mistaken. So
he was.
We missed what happened with him, unfortunately. We missed if he made a trip in the grass. but
Walcott again, side by side with Tape. Sorry to cut you off.
no, you're all good.
No. This time Walcott's on the inside, Tape is on the outside. Walcott just has to park it on the apex. Yeah, no chance of a switcheroo experience. And Walcott, so Tape overtook Walcott. Walcott got him back, Tape got him back, Walcott got him back. So these guys are already fighting, but that's caused a big gap of 4 seconds between them and Montero in P5.
This might go on. This might go on for a while. And we saw Acosta get the lap before. I saw Otto Acosta going very wide between 9th and 10th.
Yeah, he's been using a lot of the circuit, probably because he has the hard tires on, but that doesn't excuse you from using too much of the circuit. You still have to stay in the lines. You can't say, but I was on tires. That doesn't work too well. I've tried it a couple times, and the stewards don't really like that as a reason.
Janos and Jean-Pierre are still going at it, but Walcott and Tape probably...
Cooper. P10. Here we go. McLaren and Ferrari.
Cooper, yeah, right.
Warhol's going to look to get it back.
Oh, well done by Cooper. Wow. What about Walcott and Tape? There's a lot of things to watch at the same time right now.
Yeah, it's a good race. Tape way too deep.
Almost clipped Richard Walcott there.
That was a... sometimes you can follow a driver for so long, and I don't think he was intending on doing that, and sometimes you can just kind of lose track of where you are. The other thing is, some of these guys will use some of these markers, polystyrene markers by the side of the road, and sometimes somebody will take those out, and there's always a crash when that happens. So Magus Revi's still sitting right there with Lalancette. He's actually in his DRS, I think, still. So those two guys are still fighting.
Yeah, I'm watching him as we speak.
He ran wide onto the sleeping policeman, the little yellow sausage. I'm not sure why they call it a sleeping policeman. But apparently they do. Walcott and Tape again are still good, and Worrell and Cooper are good, so we've got a little bit of a calm here. It's usually about this time when things calm down that Mr. El Fuego bursts into flames.
Yeah. Yeah, we have yet to see that for a third time. Walcott and Tape still very close to each other.
Take a look further down if there's any other fights going on. Both those Alfa Romeos just running neck and neck again, 14-15. There is a space between them, but there's not much to separate those two drivers. So
no, they're always together. Yeah.
Don't know if they're running on the same setup or what, but they're consistent. And if there's a few more guys that crash out, or you do a different strategy, you might find your way sneaking into the points. We've already lost Sean Higgins for Williams, so that means that the only Williams left is Richard Haney in 13th.
And now we have Josh Mills is 3 seconds behind Riera, so these two drivers back in no man's land. Lalancette and Magus Revi 1 second apart, so no threat right there. And we still have Walcott and Tape that are, I think, the closest. We got Mitsalis and Cook for 16th and 17th. No points there, but still very much of a battle. 0.4 of a second between Cook and Mitsalis.
Mills just can't quite keep up with Riera's pace. He's not far away, and yet he's still a long way away. Sometimes you just watch Riera, again, you can't tell the difference between his qualifying laps and his race laps. Like, there is a 3.5 seconds time difference still, but that car doesn't look like it has any fuel on it. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, and if Riera doesn't make a mistake, and while I'm watching Magus Revi getting closer to Lalancette, if Riera doesn't make a mistake and don't take a penalty, it will be hard for Josh Mills to bring some things. But we might see an undercut from Mills that would provide him with track position. So he's just like 2.7 seconds behind Riera. So we're not. It is not out of the question.
Yep, and quite a short pit lane, I believe, here, because you missed turn 1, right? You come out of... So you can definitely do more stops here. Magus Revi looks like he's calmed things down. The other thing to note, too, remember, Imola, not Argenis Riera's best day. He was cruising, and then all of a sudden realized that he hadn't put on both sets of compounds yet. And I think that was because of the threat of the rain. But still, you never know when you're sitting in second.
Yeah, that is one that slipped through his hands because he was very much in control of the race, but we we were waiting on that. We were not quite sure, but we were sure. But there's always a little doubt that we might have missed something. And yeah, he got in the pits, I think, 12 laps before the end. And it's funny you mentioned Imola because remember our turn 2 here reminds us of Variante Bassa from Imola.
Yeah, they're both just absolute terrific corners. They're known.
Oh yes,
around
fast
the world.
Corners. Yeah,
not
they're
Eau
known
Rouge.
around the world for being imposters.
Is Eau Rouge? I just realized is red water. Is that?
Yep, exactly. Do you know why it's called like that?
No, I have no idea.
Actually, I think it was because when you watch like the night race there and you see the lights going, it looks like on certain pictures it looks like there's water flowing, red water flowing. I thought I heard it was called like that because of that.
Well, there you go.
But actually, 24 hours
knows everything.
Spa. Yeah, well, no, but the 24 hours of Spa, I think is this weekend. So if you want to see something interesting, you watch Eau Rouge by night, and or you see pictures. I'm gonna try to find one, and maybe Jas will be able to post it up at the end of the race, or maybe the beginning of the Spa circuit.
That would be good. We have a bit of a fight going on here further down the field. The captain, John Cook, has got his tail. It looks like Mitsalis is right behind him. So these guys are fighting all the way down in 16th, 17th place. Actually, the captain's up to 16th, so he is moving his way up there.
Zig Montero and Walcott about to fight it out.
That's impressive from Walcott. He's managed to catch up Montero at this point. So Walcott is definitely in the running. Walcott is just such a consistent driver. He's rarely makes mistakes. He's always going to be around the points. I think he actually got a win. He broke a couple-year streak and got a win sometime last year. And I almost didn't believe it myself because a longtime friend of mine, and I'd always wish him all the best. He drives completely the opposite to me. I like to launch ones into corners, and he is the calm influence. There's nothing that ever flusters him. So he is the kryptonite to Cooper's aggressive driving, because the one thing that if you're an aggressive defender you can't defend against is somebody that is nice and calm at overtaking. So we'll see if Walcott manages to get by Montero.
Yeah, well, I'm watching these two drivers right now going into turn 4. I think a little bit of a lockup, maybe a slight lockup for Zig Montero. I'm not sure.
8:15. We have a fight between the two Alfa Romeos.
Oh, Oppenheim and Brotherson. Turn 2.
Yeah, lots of passes.
Oh, and behind them, look at John Cook and Mitsalis.
They're still going at it. Mitsalis came back at Cook. These guys are really starting to put in a good show, and that's the thing. You can have fun in this league if these guys are racing around, even further down the field. You can find some great battles.
Oh, tape in the pits, because I saw Otto Acosta coming close to Elise Tape, but Elise Tape's in the pits. So that is our first pit stop, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he's the first one to blink, and he'll be blinking in the pits now. As he stops in the visible garage, you can't see the mechanics. The drivers can. The drivers can see their own mechanics, but we cannot see from the outside.
And still, people on the live know specifics, commenting on the nice battles we have right now. We got Junior and Jonathan that I see in the chat. We mentioned them earlier. So feel free to talk about your impressions. If you find interesting informations about the track or Eau Rouge or whatever.
Red water.
Always, red water. So sorry, if you find informations about red water in Spa-Francorchamps, Belgium, just feel free to provide us with that information.
There you go. Jean-Pierre Lalancette. I learned that one, but I was happy that you got to say it. Tape came out in front of the two Alfa Romeos, which is really, really good because he comes out in clear air. So
definitely.
Let's see what Tape can do. He had fallen back quite a lot from Walcott, so he's not going to be overtaking anybody. Montero's pitted, So he's falling down. Josh Mills is in the pits too. Mills comes out right behind Bill Worrell. That's not a guy you want to come behind. He's going to have to make the pass right here.
Yeah. But I think he knows that he's not on the same schedule of Josh Mills. So nicely done by Bill Worrell. Because I saw, if you fight Bill Worrell for legit position, he's a tough customer.
Yep. And this time he decided to leave the shop.
Yeah, well, it's not. I don't think, he knows it's not his fight.
Smart play. Not the play that I want to see, but still smart play. So where did Montero come out? Montero came out also in quite clear air between Ricardo Senior and Haney. Actually, Haney is right behind him, so I wonder whether there was a close fight coming out of the pits there. So who's going to have to pit? So Walcott's going longer. Walcott's still going round. He's going to keep looking at the tires. Jean-Pierre Lalancette is in the lead of the race because Riera is into the pits.
And followed by Llanos. These two drivers are not, leaving each other.
Acosta's going to be right there behind Riera. Now, this is not Acosta's fight either. Will he fancy just a little bit of a lick of that Aston Martin? Yes,
whoa. He actually brushed the rear wing of Riera. So if something like that happens, and there might be an accident.
Riera actually defended it because he realized what Acosta was doing. I love me some OTTO. Like, there's no business in that fight, but yet still, he's just a racer. He can't have an opportunity. Can't have an opportunity to pass somebody. And also, at the end of the day, if he would have managed to somehow get past Riera, Otto's on hard tires. So, who knows if you can kind of play spoiler here. But Walcott then is in third. So Jean-Pierre Lalancette's going to keep running around. I don't think he's going to pit. I think he's just going to stay out until the last lap of the race because he's going to be leading the race. And you never want to come in when you're leading the race. So Magus Revi has caught him back up, though.
He's right up there. They're going to race till their tires blow up.
Yeah, you can't give up the lead of the race. You just can't. It's just a thing that you can't do. You have to wait until somebody passes you before you pit into the lead. So Magus Revi then is still behind. There's some movement further down. It looks like... in the pits was Ricardo Senior. So the second Aston Martin was in the pits. Cooper's up to P6 because he hasn't pitted yet. So top three haven't pitted. Riera has. Will any of the top three pit this lap? Let's take a look and see if Jean-Pierre will bounce into the pits or whether Magus Revi will. It would be interesting to see if Magus Revi wants to try and do the undercut. Yes, he does. Magus Revi pits. Walcott goes around for another run.
True that. Cooper and Mills.
Wow. They were really close.
Whoa, yeah.
Where did Mills pass? He must have passed during the...
In ninth.
That's
right before turn 9. That was impressive. Yeah, they negotiated the turn very well and very fast, both of them.
Yeah, Magus Revi is in, so let's see if he comes out in clear air. He's going to come out right near his teammate, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
because
usually,
even if Montero should let him go, I think Magus Revi will have him covered. So let's see if Llanos can get the undercut on Jean-Pierre. Maybe... Lalancette was sideways then into P4. I just caught the back of a squirreling Red Bull. The bull was loose for a minute. So that's not going to be good. If Lalancette... If he pits this lap, I think that could be enough for Magus Revi to get past.
Well, you mentioned the undercut by Magus Revi, and as you mentioned it, that mistake by Lalancette will probably provide that chance for that extra, let's say that extra few tenths for Magus Revi to pick up that position.
Yeah, I would think
Lalancette in the pits.
He's going to be a sitting duck here. Walcott leads the race, so that's that third different leader of this race. So Richard Walcott, the first of one Bermudans in the field, leads for Ferrari. Scuderia Ferrari, but I think Lalancette here is going to be a bit of a sitting duck because he really was very gentle coming into the pits. It is a dangerous pit lane, but Magus Revi screaming into turn one already.
Yeah, he's going to have it. Oh, yeah, definitely. Easy peasy for Llanos Magus Revi on Lalancette.
It's like, and he even lost the position to Montero.
Oh, yeah, right.
Fighting round turn 2 into Blue River. So no, I just renamed that corner.
Eau Rouge, Blue River.
We're gonna keep doing a bunch of different ones, right? So into Green Hornet.
Well, there's actually a real name. It's called Remus. Turn 3 is called Remus, and turn 4 is Schlossgold. Then you got Rausch. They're in Rausch. They're in Wurt. And the turn number 9 is the Rindt corner, named for Jochen Rindt, an old driver.
Wow. So there you go. I didn't know that. And also I didn't know that Walcott can make the tires last a lot longer than anybody else can, because he's still going around. Oh, the back marker.
Ooh, yes, sir.
Right in the way.
It almost happened. What about Senor Fuego? Brotherson and Juan del Castillo fighting it out right before the Rindt corner. Oh, on the inside.
Side.
Oh, that was close. I think there's another teammate in the pits. I think that's the other Alpine, if I'm not mistaken.
The captain.
It is, isn't it?
Yep. So that was good driving from Castillo, though, because that could have been a crash for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Broderson's let him go now. So Broderson had the life scared out of him and thought, you know what, I'm going to let Del Castillo go. So Castillo's going to race back up. So Jean-Pierre Lalancette then did lose quite a lot of time. Montero gained a lot of ground, actually, because he's back into this fight all of a sudden for third place on the hard.
Oh, slide. Have you seen that slide by? That was, I think that was Mills behind Acosta. In the dirty air. Yeah, slide in turn 1. And you mentioned the tires. Ooh. Like how they're close to each other. How can it affect your tires? The slide like this.
You can see now, look how slow Otto Acosta is compared to Josh Mills. And Mills is gonna have to put
They almost touched. I think I would have put my hand between their wheels.
Yeah, and Mills, of course, he wants to get past quickly, and he wants to go and fight Vieira.
Definitely.
But he's got second place here. You can't throw second place away fighting with Acosta, who we know is going to fight tooth and nail for any position on the racetrack. You can see Acosta already weaving over to the inside, showing he's going to pit. Yeah, he's going to pit. Very, very smart move from Acosta to let the driver know. You know who hasn't pitted? Richard Walcott.
Richard Walcott, leading the race for Ferrari.
So, and Riera's behind him, but he's not blowing past Walcott. Walcott's keeping pretty good times on these tires.
Well, as you mentioned it.
He's going to wave him past because this is not his fight. And Walcott's going to sit right there and get some free DRS from Riera.
That's true. We can take advantage of that extra slipstream. Hey, we have flowers by Akim Lassini. The commentary is amazing, and I mean amazing.
Well, there you go. It's the first time I've ever received flowers.
And we're amateurs. We're doing this for the fun of it.
Jean-Pierre Lalancette is skating that Red Bull around right now. It is hilarious to watch, but not good for times. He is not liking these hard tires at all, which is a real shame because that car looked super, super quick, and now it just looks like it's a matter of time before it ends up in the wall. So Lalancette's going to have to rethink the strategy. The good news for him is you can rethink the strategy on this circuit because it's short pit lane. And Walcott has decided to try out the pit lane just to give it a go. And he's going to pit into P3. So Argenis Riera is back into lead of the race.
I think he might have been thirsty and he needed water. So that's why he went into pits.
Yeah, there couldn't be any.
Bill Worrell and Magasrevi fighting it out.
Tape's going to come out.
Turn number Walcott. 2. Turn 2.
Ooh. And Walcott and Tape are right side by side as well. Right behind him.
Through that, Magasrevi got the position.
Walcott taking a look into the hairpin. He won't make that bold of a pass on cold tires, cold brakes.
So we have a race. Yeah.
It's not great news for Walcott to come back out behind Tape. These guys have overtaken each other 764 times so far in the 26 laps that we have had.
Oh yeah, lap 26.
Oh, he runs wide.
Oh, Tape wide.
And that's
will he protect? And Walcott pointing his nose on the inside, but Tape protecting the position.
He was just far enough ahead, and Walcott was just kind of letting him know that I saw that mistake, and if you do that again, I will gladly pass you. Look who's in P3.
Lynn Cooper.
Where did Coop come from? He's still going on the tires. We've seen Cooper go a long time on tires. Walcott can go a long time on tires. Cooper doesn't even need tires. He can just find a way around on rocks.
Yeah, but what tires?
Into a podium so far. So if
they were both on mediums to start with, so Cooper very much impressive keeping these tires alive.
Yeah. So actually, Cooper went longer on the mediums than Acosta did on the hards in the same car, which is incredible. Again, how does he do this?
There's usually a trick to extend the tire life, and I'm looking at a little train between Tate, Walcott, and Acosta. Something will happen there, yeah.
This is very interesting because you've got Tape, who in SimRacingHub terms is the rookie, almost, with the experience of these two guys behind. Then you've got the calm, cool Walcott, and then you've got the feisty Otto Acosta. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see if these guys get close enough together. Who's going to win out?
It's nice that the temper of the way of thinking of these guys, because I don't know them that much, and I have to figure them out as I see them.
Yeah. But you'll see that Acosta uses a lot more of the track.
Montero and Lalancette almost tangled together. So Lalancette behind Montero will have the DRS here between 3 and 4.
Yep, so Walcott... Acosta's going to be right behind Walcott, but Walcott's going to get DRS as well. But it's not going to matter. Here comes Acosta. He's going to launch one. Walcott won't defend it. He's going to try and just see if he can hold it around the outside. There goes Acosta.
Well, nicely done.
Beautiful pass from Otto Acosta. Takes advantage of the double slipstream and double DRS. And now Acosta, you have to get tape. You've just overtaken Walcott. You have all the momentum. You've got... some smart guy once told me, it was actually John... Surtees, Formula One driver, told me that you have 5 corners basically to overtake somebody before you lose all the momentum.
Did you know that John Surtees is the only human who has won the World Championship on 4 and 2 wheels?
I did not know. I did not know.
He was a motorcycle champion before being a Formula One champion.
And here goes Otto Acosta. He's going to do it within the 5 turns. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Elise Tape got very, very close to the back of him. Now, will Tape get the DRS? He will. Acosta right to the inside defending. No, 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 you will not go on the inside of me. Tape's going to go on the outside. That's not going to work.
Nicely done. Nicely tried, I got to say.
It was worth a go. Acosta, you could see right from the get-go, I am not going to give you the inside. So that was a very good fact that you had about John Surtees. I raced against his son, Henry Surtees, until unfortunately his passing. Growing
I was thinking about him. Unfortunate accident in Brandsatch. Yeah. Terrible. That's one more point for the Halo.
Yeah. 100%. And the big push against the Halo was that you won't be able to escape in fire. And look what happened with Grosjean in Bahrain. Right?
Exactly.
It saved his life. So.
For those who are not familiar with Henry Surtees, he received a tire that bounced on a barrier on the helmet, and it looked like it bounced. It looks like nothing. While we have, I think, Tape lost the car in turn 3. Sorry, Elise Tate lost the car in turn 3. Try it on the relaunch. So he lost a few positions there, and now he is in no man's land.
He is for sure. So, yeah, it was a terrible accident for Henry, and I still honestly haven't watched it to this day because
it's not a fun thing to watch, and I don't watch. I watched it once, and I never rewatched it. It looks like nothing, but it's actually happening, and that's why I like the Halo and the security on the cars right now. But our drivers here at SimRacingHub are safe.
For sure. Most of them are anyway. The only person that's not safe right now will be Jean-Pierre Lalancette, because Otto Acosta is going to be behind him very, very quickly. He's a man on a mission, pulling up through the field with that McLaren. So we'll have to see how that goes. Janos Magas Revi, guess what position Janos Magas Revi is in?
Yes!
He's in P3, his favorite position.
But in German, it's eins, zwei, drei. It's something like dry. Okay, so he's in dry position.
No rain coming. No rain coming.
I would have loved rain. I would have loved rain. We should have had rain in Canada to reproduce the Montreal weather.
I just want to tell you that it could rain in every race, just to hear you talking about how it's getting darker. That was my favorite hour of television was just listening to Francois Goulet talking about how it's getting darker.
That was in Imola. I remember, like, clouds are coming, and you should have seen the day I had here in Quebec today. There was like sun, then gray cloud, sun, gray cloud, and it was raining every gray cloud. So that I'm usually good on the weather forecast, but I really lost it in Imola. And you know what? I think I might have been the reason why Riera thought it was about to rain. He's listening to the broadcast. He said it's gonna rain. Francois is saying that there's gray clouds in the sky. I believe him, and I messed up his strategy.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. 100%. What is going to be an interesting watch now is Zeke Montero pitted. He gained a lot of time from that from the first round of pit stops, and then he came in, put a new set of boots on, took another set of hards. He's going to have to pit again, so it's going to be a 3-stop at least for Montero. Montero is just understeering for days. He's driving a ship out there with those tires. He's just cooking them. You can see it, but he's still determined. And this is the thing, when you're a fast driver, you know what speed you can take around a corner. And if the car won't go that speed around the corner, then that's the car's problem and not your problem. And look who posted the fastest lap of the race. Zeke Montero with a 106.2. So he's using those tires. He's using the hards like softs, but he's going to drive as fast as he can, and try and get back into this race once again.
Look at Acosta and Walcott fighting it out in turn 2.
This is a good battle.
Good relaunch in turn 3 for both drivers, so DRS will come into play there. And there's is that a back marker?
Yep, it is. Yeah,
yes, it is.
He's already gone around P4. Turn 4. Walcott went a little bit deep, but again, different strategies here, or different types of drivers here. Tape was doing well to hold on, but did we see Walcott pass Tape?
Well, actually, it was when Tape lost the car.
Oh yes, did they? Yes. Yeah. Did say yeah. We missed that on the premium subscription viewers. Connection. That was me. Okay. I'm sure everybody else is good still.
My friend, your voice is a little messed up. You sound like a robot. So I don't. Okay. So we have a little technical difficulties with our friend Matt Hartley. He sounds like a robot. Not saying that he usually doesn't, but he sounds more like a robot now. He has an electric voice.
You hear me now?
I can hear you, but you still sound like a robot. But you can keep talking, and I'll tell you when I hear your voice legitimately. And in the meantime, Juan del Castillo, Señor El Fuego, followed by Jeff Oppenheim, and Acosta and Walcott close to each other. So those are the two fights we're watching, while Oppenheim is following Del Castillo at turn 3. Good relaunch by both drivers. Another opportunity for slipstream and DRS.
I can see it coming in the air tonight.
Right. All right, I got you.
Oh, I was kind of hoping I still had the effect on.
Yeah.
I could have done some Phil Collins, but
great song actually. No, that's another.
This is when you pull an interesting fact, isn't it, about Phil Collins and how he was the first person to drive through Eau Rouge in a unicycle or something. Your facts are amazing, Francois. I don't know how you have all of this knowledge.
Well, actually, your song "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins and Genesis is really much for me car related. You want to
Please do
know?
tell.
Yeah,
I
well,
do.
I'm a son of the 1980s, and there was a series called Miami Vice. In the first episode of Miami Vice, they're rolling in that Ferrari, California, in order to catch the bad guy, and they think that they might die, and that "In the Air Tonight" song is playing, and it's a really emotional scene with the Ferrari and the two cops just rolling with it. So watch it out. Miami Vice episode 1, "In the Air Tonight." It's on YouTube. You can watch it out. Great song, great clip, and great series. Didn't age well, but
Glad that my voice brought that memory to you.
oh yeah, well you're saying good. And in the meantime, we got a few fights. Ricky Haney and Glenn Cooper.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Cooper's, closing the gap. I think he's going to be in the upstream range. Oh, wow. Look at how he negotiated last
turn
turn.
one. Turn one, it'll be quite easy.
Oh, not even. Ken, is that Ricardo Sr. or that's just like Riera? That's Riera.
Yeah, I saw the blue flag, and obviously
Passing through. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously they're not going to get a blue flag for Cooper because that's for position. But
And look
this
where
way,
Mills
Cooper made a mistake. He let him ride too much, and here comes Haney.
You're right. And in the meantime, Josh Mills is not too far from Riera. Is 1.5 seconds, but he has that traffic to negotiate. And
Cooper gets out the way.
yeah, well,
And
nicely done at the cost of him and Zeke Montero. So
Now we'll see if Haney can get out of the way.
look at Montero,
Yeah.
not smartly. Oh wow, they touch, and Montero accident between Montero and Cooper. So I don't know what happened there exactly, but Cooper kind of slowed down and Montero just clipped his rear.
Yeah, I'm not too sure because the lead guys had already gone, unless Cooper got confused, maybe thinking that there was another guy coming through with the leaders. Maybe he thought Montero was coming through, but not sure what happened there.
Yeah, well, Montero is the new Sandman. He really made a big. Oh wow, okay, he's still on the track. I thought he was going in the pits,
No,
so he might have damage.
Castillo pitted.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, Castillo pitted, avoided all of that because he was pitting in the track. So, but it's amazing how much time Cooper lost letting the back markers by compared to Richard Haney. Like they were fighting, and then all of a sudden now Cooper's back because of that mistake with Zeke. It almost costs Cooper the race because he lost that time giving up to Riera. So it's a good lesson, kids. It's a very big skill to know is how to get out of the way effectively, and also not affect your own race. So well played, Richard Haney. Experience paid off then.
But a lot of things led to other things, like we saw that event in turn 3, and then Josh Mills had to negotiate the traffic. I won't say the back markers because there are back markers, but they're the midfield back markers. And then because of that, Cooper lifted to get Mills by, and then Montero caught Cooper, and that led to the incident that cost Montero a lot of time.
You could write a book on that.
Yeah, you could do a whole podcast on this.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the best, but it would. It would sell.
True that.
I would listen to it.
I would, yeah, me too.
Well, that's because you'd be on it. But meanwhile, while we've been gibbering and jabbering and Jumanjiing, look who has caught up to our Genis Riera in first.
Yeah, 1.2 seconds. I was watching that.
How has this happened? Like, this is what I need to know.
And I know. It's because Riera is listening to us, and he fell asleep.
Even with Phil Collins.
And our producer is telling us that it is traffic, like he knows a thing or two about racing. Phew.
Yeah, like he's been watching the race or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, let me teach you a little something. You don't watch the race, okay?
Yeah,
you just listen to it.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Last week he couldn't even hear what I was saying.
Oh, Well, there
Yeah,
you
we
go.
had technical difficulties. Everything I was saying, our producer didn't hear it, and that's fun because I was talking about stuff and he was pointing me stuff like, "Hey, come on, dude! I'm already talking about this, so give me a break." No, 1 second now between Mills and Riera, so that means he would be in slipstream in DRS range at a certain point, but it's fluctuating between 1 second and 1.4. So,
Well, thanks for that, Yas. Yeah, for sure. Like it's good that you've been paying attention to a really, really, really important battle. Like all of a sudden, we have to kind of put our serious faces back on because we've got a huge dogfight between the top two in the championship, Riera and Mills. And you have to think right now, we've all been kind of calm and joking around. Just imagine what is going on right now in these two guys' heads. Well, all of a sudden, you know, Riera thought he had this under control. Maybe he still does think he has it under control. But Mills is all of a sudden tasting the back of that Aston Martin. So it's really, really exciting to see those guys fighting around. Lalansette's not a million miles away from Ragus Revi, so those guys are fighting too. And then, of course, we still have Walcott and Acosta. Walcott has passed Acosta and pulled away.
well, Mills can smell blood, and I wish he brings the fight to Riera so we can have something, something for our eyes at the end of the race, and we might see an undercut from Mills. We mentioned it earlier, but we're lap 41 out of 71, so there should be another pit stop before the end. And on that matter, Riera having the fastest lap, I want to point it out. If Mills puts an undercut on Riera at the best spot possible, he can make that gap. He can make that 1.5 second.
Problem is,
especially if there's traffic. We never know.
Yeah. The problem with this circuit is that you can overtake. Like we've seen all day long, these guys have had no issues overtaking whatsoever. So, getting track position here maybe not as important as other places. You have to still have some tires for the end of the race. So, the undercut is great and you want to be out front leading. But if you end up on bad tires at the end of the race, then you're just going to be a sitting duck on any of these straights. So, we have Richard Haney is in the pits. So he's got a new set of boots on. So will he be able to go to the end on the hard tires? I would think so. 29 laps.
Yeah, that makes sense, especially with a lighter car.
So I would think that we've just seen the first person going to the end, which will be Richard Haney in the Williams in P14, which is always nice because okay, yes, I'm in 14th, which means nothing to me. I don't get any of the points, I don't get any of the girls, I don't get any of the money, but it can only get better from here. I'm in 14th, I'm not stopping again, I got a new set of hard tires on, and I can move my way forward. So that worst case scenario, you got 14th.
I'm pretty sure you can still get the girls.
Maybe. I mean,
the other ones, but
yeah, I'm not too sure. They never used to follow me around too much, so.
And in the meantime, okay, Ricardo's. Okay, we got somebody's in the pit, but that's Hoppenheim.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah,
I saw the name moving, and I'm like, yeah, who's there?
You end up playing the chasing game. You keep picking on names, and you can't quite catch up. Exactly. Senior is in a fight.
Yeah, position Senior and Del Castillo.
And then there's is that Lalancette unlapping himself as well?
I think it might be.
Yeah, I saw that. We just saw the end of it. Oh, and Senior's now let him go.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Side by side.
Is he going to be rude and steal that place from Senior?
That's just rude.
That is a rude glove slap in the face. You let him by. There is no love lost. Sim Racing Hub. You let a guy by, and I see an opportunity, and I will take it.
Yeah, traffic really comes into play right now. So it has been mentioned for Riera and Mills, but let's say like Mills see that traffic is coming, he does that undercut right before
comes Montero.
Oh yeah, behind him.
Montero and Senior is falling back 2 places now.
Yeah, and Zeke got that position back. So 1 position out of the points, he's going to be on the chase for Juan del Castillo.
What a great opportune moment there. Probably the pass of the day so far from Castillo. Saw his opportunity, took it, and now he's in P10. He's got himself a point right now. So
Yes,
the only
sir.
problem is he's got himself Ezekiel Montero right behind him. So I think this is when Castillo now has to turn his eyes forward too. If I've got to try and catch up Glenn Cooper, because the likelihood of me losing the place to Montero is quite high.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to happen within 2 laps maximum.
I would tend to agree. The gap at the front has gone up to 2 seconds. It went back down to 1.5 seconds. Mills
Yes,
is still
sir.
sitting right there. I would love to know how cool and controlled Riera is right now.
Ooh, look at the fastest lap between Riera and Mills.
Wow. 1,000th of a second.
That's the difference between Riera and Mills. So a 106, 105 for Argenis Riera and a 106, 106. No, I'm not just I'm not stuttering.
This is where it really gets interesting was Mills put up the 106, 106 on lap 43. And then the next lap, Riera puts up the 106, 105. So it is almost like Riera knew exactly that he'd gained that time, saw it, and thought, okay, I can do that too. And now look, Mills with a 106, 003. These guys are trading lap times. Will we see a response from Riera again? I predict another fast lap of the race right here for Riera if he doesn't get stuck in this traffic that's coming up ahead. Because that would mean that Riera still has some pace in that car if he can respond again. But this is great driving.
Well, it's fun for us to see this battle for fastest lap. You know, adding a little 1,000th of a second here for good measure, and having Mills coming back with, shaving a whole 1/10 of a second.
I think Riera might just come against some traffic right at the end of this lap, but it'd be really interesting to see because the gap has pulled back out again. So I'm predicting that Riera is going to come back and steal that Barney, the dinosaur purple lap back. And let's see if we can get our first 105 here. If the traffic stays out the way long enough, will it? Maybe they'll get a little bit of the understeer, but maybe we'll get a bit of a slipstream. This is going to be a 105. Yeah. This is going to be a 105. I can feel it.
And do you have it? No, you don't.
What happened? Where was the 105?
I don't know. It disappeared. It disappeared at the Osterreichring. But, you know, you're expecting a 105. Let me tell you one thing. The fastest lap now is a 106.003. That means if they're shaving off 1,000th of a second every time they improve the fastest lap, you're not going to have your 105 until 3 more laps.
Maybe so. Are you seeing sector times for Argenis Riera for lap 46? Because I am not. So, and I know I had connection issues, but I'm not seeing any sector times, so I don't know what's going on there.
For Riera, I got the lap 47.
Yeah, on the little plus sign, I don't have any sector times on lap 46, so I don't know. A bit strange. It felt like a 105 to me.
He maybe flew, above the track, and the sensors didn't apply. You never know.
That's an old go-karting trick. We used to have to put a transponder on the go-kart. Some people would put a fake transponder on the back of the car and put the real one in the front nose cone just to gain that little bit of forward momentum if you're racing somebody at the line. It's cheating, but it's very inventive.
Yeah, I love a good trick. Tell me more about that later.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work, unfortunately, unless you're racing somebody. But Castillo is still in 10th place. Montero didn't get past him yet, which is very interesting. So Castillo, Montero maybe took too much out of the tires, which we saw him do. Let's take a look a little bit further down, too, of what else is going on. Haney is up to P13.
He was battling. He was close to Oppenheim, but now he's... He has a front marker in front of him. Del Castillo and Montero not far from each other, but not too close.
Now is Haney going to unlap himself here? This is when things get really, really like he's waving at him. I don't think the McLaren is going to be letting him by any means. That'll be Cooper, I'm assuming. Let's see, it is Cooper. No, it's not. It's Ottawa Costa. So Haney is caught up to Otto Acosta, even though he was a lap down. So that was kind of interesting for a moment there. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one to see if Haney... I mean, he does have the fresher tires, of course, as we know. Richard Haney is...
Oh, look at Riera and Mills. Mills and Riera. Something happened.
How did I miss this?
Something... Oh, I don't know. Well, they were too far apart. Something happened with Riera.
And here goes turn 3. Mills. Oh, he just was skidding the back. Skid him
but he's got the DRS. So something happened with Riera at turn 1. Mills took advantage
of that. He didn't defend.
Inside. Mills on the inside. Incredible. Side by side. They're side by side.
Oh, they're almost touching. Oh, he pushes the grass.
They touch. Riera's is in the sand. Riera's in the sand.
Mills punted him. Riera pushed him onto the grass, and Mills ended up punting Riera. That is going to be something that we talk about for races and races to come.
Well, things like that didn't happen in the first part of this season, but I mean, it had to happen at some point. And Riera is right in front of Janos Magasrevi, so he's going to be under attack once again. He might lose more points.
Janos is taking a look at him. Not sure why we're looking into turn 1 there, but sensing that Riera might be a little bit of a wounded animal.
Perhaps.
But Riera could also pit. I mean, he looks very slow right now compared to Magasrevi, but that could be wing. Riera's used to running out there on his own. He's not used to guys being right behind him in the DRS. So we did see Mills come from quite a long way back because he got a bad exit out of turn 3, and yet he still managed to launch up the inside. Riera didn't go defensive, and then all of a sudden tried to push him onto the grass. So a racing incident possibly. I definitely think that there was no malice involved in it, but
sure not. But they were going hard at it, side by side. Riera, I mean, Mills was in the grass, so he might have. I don't know how the grass affects the.
It's terrible. You can't get off the grass. You can if you even touch the accelerator. If you even think about touching the accelerator on the grass, and you spin. So you.
What about when you get back on track?
Yeah, no. So when you back on track, usually it's just about getting back on the racing line and get back going again. But it definitely it messes with your rhythm more than anything.
Janos in the pits. So yeah, I think he's going to try the undercut on Riera.
Yeah. With only 20 laps to go. So what tires are we going to put on? We're going to put the mediums back on. No one's going soft. Otto Acosta is in the pits as well, so he's going to do his last pit stop. Wow, I can't believe we almost missed that. We would have been fired if we
but we missed the mistake from Riera, but we're watching battles and there was nothing to watch at that time. But when I saw the little red line that indicates us that there's a fight, they were at 1 second apart. And when I clicked on Mills or Riera, they were side by side at turn 2. So something happened there. Unfortunately, we missed it. But if we had all the cameras like the real live Formula 1 broadcast has, we would have captured that. But we saw the crunchy part, the accident that happened between the two, and Lalancette and Walcott. I think Lalancette's in the pits. Okay, good.
Yeah. So Lalancette's in the pits. Will Walcott pit again, or will he try and go all the way on a one-stop? Because Walcott, we know, is good on tires, and he's got the hards on. So possibility that Walcott might just stay out there.
Did you say he's got a hard on?
The hards on. Yeah.
Sorry.
The hards on.
Yeah. So Elise Tape and Janos Magasrevi. So coming out of the pits, Janos behind Tape. And Janos with a fresh set of mediums should not be bothered by Tape right now. And nope, pretty nicely done here by Janos. And Tape almost going too wide in the kitty litter.
Oh, I tell you what, this is impressive. This is really impressive from Argenis Riera. A 105.7 from Josh Mills, by the way, when he got his opportunity after he punted his championship rival off accidentally, but still punted him off.
Let's
he goes out there and puts up a 105.7. But what's impressive from Riera is he put in a 106.1, a 106.1 right after being punted off. So, you know, got his head right back into the game again. There's no time loss. You never know if you'll be able to catch back up to Josh Mills. So
you never know, yeah.
I would love to see that happen.
Oh yeah, definitely. And there will be pits. Well, now there's 8 seconds separating the two protagonists.
And now,
remember, Magas Revi is gonna do the undercut, and Magas Revi has a 105.1.
105.1, yeah. Undercut now is really starting to be powerful.
Oh yeah,
is really starting to be powerful because a 105.1, that's a really impressive time. Like a 0.6 faster than the leading driver right now. So that's going to get some attention from a few guys, especially guys like Richard Walcott. If you're hoping to go to the end of the race, that's going to be a bit of a problem because that's a very fast time.
Well, Magas Revi will come out when the pit stop happens for Riera. Magas Revi will do the undercut. I think he will complete it without a doubt with the times he's putting right there.
Yep, unless Riera decides not to pit. And this is the thing for Josh Mills now. Josh Mills is just going to sit there. He's not going to pit unless Riera pits because you're not going to give up track position at all because you do not want to be coming up against that Aston Martin after, you know, pushing him into the kitty litter. You don't want to be coming up against him again. So I think you wait.
Riera was really wide at turn number, I think it was 7.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that. He's starting to maybe run out of tires, which is going to leave him very vulnerable to Magas Revi. What is Walcott's times like in the Ferrari? He's had a typical Walcott race.
106.6 is fastest.
I mean, look at these times, ladies and gentlemen, from Richard Walcott, just minding his own business in the Scuderia. 106.8, 8, 8, 8. 7-0, 6-9, 7, 7, 6, 6. Like consistency like you've never seen before from Richard Walcott, just minding his business in third and somehow is on the podium right now.
Look at that. Everybody's in no man's land right now. There is no battle whatsoever on track. We're waiting on maybe traffic and or pit stops in order to provide us with a new fighting window.
Yep. So let's just take a... Let me just double check down the tires here. So we think that Mills and Riera probably going to try and eke this out and maybe go to the end. If they don't pit in the next 2-3 laps, then I don't think they're going to be pitting, which is going to be interesting because I don't know whether they would have planned for that strategy. Riera's catching back up, just slightly, but he is catching back up. 105.6 from Argenis Riera. So there's still some speed left in that Aston Martin, even if he does have a little bit of damage. Walcott sitting on his own pretty right now, but Magas Revi is flying from behind. He's in traffic. Jean-Pierre Lalancette, we haven't talked about him for a while. He's still
you're right.
55.
Nicely done by him. He's going to score good points from the Red Bull team. And if Mills can keep that win, they're going to take a serious option in that Drivers' Championship.
Yep. Yeah.
Especially when Ricardo Sr. is not going to score any points if he finishes 12th like he's doing right now.
Yep, unless he gets even if he gets a fast lap, he wouldn't get a point because
even there, yeah.
Yep.
But you know what? Even with I don't think he would get fast lap. I'm sorry about that.
Yep. No. Anyway, you never know, but I doubt it. Yeah. You have to put the softs on the last lap.
Yeah, exactly at the end.
Elise Tape, he's had an interesting first half of the race and a quiet second half of the race. He fought everybody that he could in the first half. Bill Worrell, great drive from him so far. P8, just again steady, not minded, not got involved with anybody else's mess. Cooper just hasn't had the pace today, really. He did really well on the tires. Cooper is stealing points today. I don't think that car really deserves to get too many points, but he's so far stealing some points. And Montero also really struggling with the Mercedes, and that's your top 10.
So 6.3 seconds separating Riera and Mills, and it's fluctuating between the high 5 seconds and the 6 or 7s. And we got 14 laps to go. So you really think they can make it on these tires?
I think they're gonna try. And I think that, Riera right now, he's not in any threat whatsoever from Richard Walcott, because Walcott still has to pit too, or Riera would come out with brand new tires right behind Walcott. So Riera is safe in second. So the question really becomes, I don't think Janos is going to catch him. The question just becomes, what does Riera have to lose here? He's going to, at the end of the day, if he pits, Mills will also pit, and they'll both have new tires, and Mills will win the race. There's no mistakes that happen in the pit lane in sim racing, like in real life. Of course, anytime you come into the pits, you could forget to put a tire on.
Yeah.
Riera.
The gun can't work.
He's
might
just
have
sitting
a
there right
penalty.
now. If I was Riera, until those tires are off the cliff, why not? Why not try and stay out there, just to see if maybe Mills' tires drop off the cliff further? And especially,
you're right.
If you put a driver on used tires, then there's more chance of a mistake. So I would rather have Josh Mills out there on an old set of tires and take my chances that I also put it in the wall.
Ricardo Sr. and not even. We have a false fight. Yeah, looking for a fight, and we have Jean-Pierre Lanancette.
Your typical French.
Ricardo, Jean-Pierre Lanancette and Ricardo Sr. are close to each other, so it looks like Mills and Riera are fighting, but it's not what's happening.
Always looking for a fight.
Yes, we are.
Where is Otto Acosta? So he's P6. He hasn't. Is he going to catch Lalancette? No, Lalancette's too far away. I don't think that's going to happen unless, like you said, split strategies come in. These guys are all on medium tires. Walcott's on the hards. The top three are all on the hards, and they're all trying to run the hards to the end. We think Mills would be crazy to pit right now. You just sit out there until Riera pits. Right now, he's holding the gap steady.
But I'm disappointed for Janos Magasrevi because I really thought he would pull the undercut on Riera, putting these medium tires and having these fast laps. So he's still having the fastest lap of the race with a 105.1. I doubt.
Times up down. 105.9, 106.1. The leaders can do those times. So
they might be, but on old hards versus new mediums, you think they can still put it out?
The last two laps, the last three laps of Mills, 105.5, 105.4, 105.6. So they just Magasrevi just doesn't have enough pace to pull this off. I think Magasrevi all of a sudden is fighting Walcott for third.
Yeah, well, he has to catch Walcott in order to recuperate that position that he jeopardized while going into pits. So he has to take advantage of these medium compound tires to catch Walcott and get that position back. Because I think he was in third.
Yep, he was, and that would be a sneaky podium for Richard Walcott if he steals third here.
You're right, but he has really old tires.
We like to give airtime to everybody here, and we haven't talked about Tony Gonzalez yet. He's still running around P15. Gets out the way. He's got blue flags everywhere right now. These guys are 2 laps behind, 107.5. But anytime
it's not a lot, in the circumstances of the small track. We have a fight with Ricky Haney and Ricardo Sr. for 11th position. So they're close to each other.
Look at the time. So Mitsala's best lap time 107.5, and Ricardo Senior's best lap time 107.4. Ricardo Senior's in P11. That's my favorite position.
You're right.
It doesn't give you anything, but I do love a P11 finish. Just makes you go home at night thinking, well, I just wasted 3 hours of my life.
Yeah.
But
look, they both slid, Senior and Haney, but Haney has a better relaunch than Senior. So what can happen here? Senior defending the position.
We said Haney was guaranteed 14th place, so hopefully Haney doesn't finish below 14th, and he is pulling his way up. He should get by Ricardo Senior, and then he's going to need a little bit of a miracle for one of the other guys to crash out. It is not nice to wish ill on your other drivers. But when you're in P11 and you do wish ill, usually what happens is you blow up.
Yeah.
But, that's just the way life goes.
Yeah, well, in the previous races, I saw a few engines smoking while they were following, some cars were following each other too close. And that's really what I like about that game is the realism that it provides, And look at that. Yeah, Ricky Haney on the slipstream of Ricardo Sr. is going to happen. And Sr. defending on the inside, turn 2.
Is he going to be flat at turn 2?
Yes, incredible. Flat out. Wow, incredible.
Oh, but he's slippery sliding around the, what do we call that? Blue River?
Blue River, yeah.
Yeah. And Ricardo Sr., is he going to launch one? He's going to launch one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're going to touch. No. They touched twice.
No, that's
oh.
No.
Yeah, elbows out twice.
See this? So now Ricardo Sr. has to let him bust.
Yeah, okay.
He's just going to, but he won't. And this is the thing. Ricardo Sr. right now, if he was to just let him pass and be smart, he would avoid penalty and he would move on. But he's going to keep on driving. He's going to get a penalty the next race, and that was too bold.
I agree. I mean, he muscled his way in, and twice he hit him. He hit Richard Haney, and as you mentioned, if he keeps that position, he has nothing to gain by keeping that position, but he has everything to lose.
It's only one position. See, usually what happens if you do that with the driver, smart thing to do is to just wait, let the driver pass back by, because the race stewards do not protest any incidents automatically. The driver themselves have to protest them. So It'll be Richard Haney protesting Ricardo Sr. So if you let him back by, Haney won't protest, and then you can, you still have the position, no harm, no foul. Usually the only time you can't do that is if you fire them into the grandstand. Then you can sit around, wait for them forever, but they won't come. So a little silly there from Senior, I think. I think he would have just been better to let Haney back by. Haney's going to probably catch him back up and have the red missed. So let's hope that Haney is smart enough to know that Senior's probably going to get a penalty.
And the gap between Riera and Mills is 5 seconds, 5 to 6, depending on where they at on the track.
Yep, so it's
gaps are fluctuating, but look, 7 laps to go. So you're right; they probably won't pit. But look how close Magasrevi is from Walcott.
You can see him; they're glowing. This is when you don't want to drive the Ferrari, okay? Because you can see the red Ferrari from a long way away, and all of a sudden there's 2 back markers in between, but you can just see the back of that Bermudan red Ferrari, and that just gives you a little bit more gas, a little bit more power.
You said red, okay? You want to know a fun fact?
Oh, Haney and Senior. Sorry, they were swapping around, and now Senior's going to play out. Now he's going to play like, oh, I let you back past. No.
Okay, you had your chance like 2 laps ago.
And look what happened. Look what happened. Now you're behind, and you may end up getting a penalty.
You got Senor El Fuego, Juan del Castillo, just firing his engine behind Ricardo Senior.
Yep.
Quickly, F1 stewards are not allowed to say the word red around the track. Yeah, because if the word red on the communications, as Juan del Castillo is trying to pass on turn 1 on the soft compound that he wears.
Going to get tasty because he has DRS to defend, so Senior's going to try and defend.
And he has a fresh set of slicks.
This is going to end up with a messy. Don't hit Haney again.
Oh,
what are we doing?
Oh, wow.
Teammate.
Did you see that?
Haney.
Oh, goodness.
Richard Haney is just getting beaten up out here. Senior lost out. Well, that's karma. But Castillo needs to now let Haney back past. I'm not sure what is happening over here.
Yeah, they're being a little bit over-aggressive right now. And 4 seconds between Riera and Mills. Yeah, saying red on the communications means that there's a red flag. So when they see like a Ferrari and they want to say the color red, they have to take a synonym like scarlet or whatever. And that's my team leader who told me that.
I'm saying red. So
yeah, but if you say red, that means there's a red flag, and everybody's going to be like, oh, red flag. And then you're going to create mayhem. But you're not a steward.
So what do they call Eau Rouge? They call it. They don't call it Red River.
I have no answer.
happens if you're marshalling. Yeah.
Scarlet water. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think, again, what are we doing here, guys? Castillo, you know, sorry, I got mistaken. It's not teammates. These cars look ridiculously similar.
Yeah, they look.
Alpine and the Williams. Like, come on, what is happening? But, yeah, Haney is behind. Somehow Haney is still in P11. He was P11 behind Senior. Now he's P11 behind Castillo. And Haney's going to be fuming because that's twice now that he's really not done anything wrong. Like, usually I say don't leave the door open, but the door wasn't even on the hinges. And yet, you know, guys just went and plowed up the inside. So, again, Castillo, I understand a little bit more from why Castillo is not doing it because, you know, he's in P10. He's trying to hold on to a points fame position, but it's not going to happen. Yeah, the stewards are they're gonna come back around. Haney's going to have a long night typing, I think.
But look at Del Castillo with the soft compound. He's flying. I mean, he's making time. And you mentioned someone fuming. Usually it's Del Castillo who's fuming. So,
yeah. But again, it's silly because if he would have just let Haney back past,
yeah, right,
he would have been able to pass him by now, probably again on those brand new tires anyway. And then you're back in the points positions legit. Cooper is almost a full lap ahead. Cooper is already down the front start finish straight right now. You're not catching Glenn Cooper. I don't care how super soft those tires are. You're not catching him. So it's just silly from Castillo. He should have let Haney back by, and then he should just breeze back past him again. But, you know, hey, what do I know? I'm just the guy out here saying red. So
you're right. And in the meantime, I really want to see Janos Magasrevi bring the fight to Richard Walcott because he's 1.7 seconds behind. There's 3 laps to go. This race is going. Yeah, this race is going so fast.
Yep. Oh yes, for sure. There's been so much action overtaking. Even when there's no action, guys are launching up the inside of Haney to make action. So
yeah, there was a 2 or 3 minutes with the no man's land thing, but otherwise things have changed.
So I think Janos should catch. He might catch Walcott because you have to think too. Walcott's tires are going to get worse and worse and worse. So the last 3 laps of the race,
exactly.
But you know, the track is just so short that you know, 2 laps at the A1 ring here, or the Red Bull ring, whatever it's called. Now, you know, 2 laps doesn't last very long at all. So we're only 2 minutes away from seeing Josh Mills win the race, unless Argenis Riera can catch him up. He's only 4 seconds behind him now, so keep a quick little beady eye on that one.
1.6, Janos behind Walcott.
Just a little bit too far back. He's got 1 lap to get into DRS range, so he needs to gain at least 0.6, 0.7 of a second this lap. Which Walcott, we know, has been consistent on the times. Last 3 laps, basically a 106.3, 106.3, 106.3. So we know what Walcott's going to do, which means Magasrevi has to do a 105.7, and he's been in the 106s, so Magasrevi's going to have to find a lap from somewhere to get in DRS range. I'm not sure he has enough pace.
1.6, Magasrevi behind Walcott. And there's the 2 Haas. There's one that's letting the other lap down. Well, the one the lap down let the other pass by. Well done by the teammates. This is not for position, and it's really between Janos and Richard Walcott. But there's 2 laps to go. Is it?
This is the fight. Yeah, yes. This is the only fight I think we're gonna have to the end. These guys did go to the end on those hard tires.
Yeah, impressive. I did not see that coming. I was sure there would be an extra pit stop.
And it really did ruin Glenn Cooper's race, because Cooper was assuming he was going to be the only one that would be able to do that strategy. And turns out, no, a lot of people did. So Cooper's managed to be 9th, but that's as far as he could get. Magasrevi can see the... what color is the Ferrari then? It's not red, it's...
fuchsia?
Dark red.
No, but we have to avoid saying red, but I don't know all the colors in English. In French, we have like some synonym. Yeah. Well, you know, you just brought a red flag and the race is stopped. So Mills, it's the last lap anyway. Mills. Yeah. Yep. It's the last lap for Mills and Riera, and it's the last lap for Janos Magasrev and Walcott starting as we speak. But there's 1 second. Look at that. He's in DRS range right now. He's 1 second, 0.9. So what is it exactly?
Chance.
Because I'm not. Yeah.
Mills is in traffic here.
Yeah, exactly. Oof.
Horrific traffic.
That could have been. That could have been dangerous for Mills.
Yeah, it's not what you want in the last lap of the race. But Mills is going to come through and win the race, and deserving winner.
Oh, watch out! He's wide on the last corner. All right, so Josh Mills' victory right here, passing the line. Riera not far behind, so mayhem between these two drivers, and Richard Walcott holding on to this third position. Oh, traffic. Oh, there's no front wing on that Alfa Romeo. There's no more front wing on that Alfa. I want to mention that.
Just keeping it exciting, but
look at that!
It's gonna hang on.
Yeah, that's Oppenheim. That was Oppenheim. So, Walcott holding.
Podium. Yeah.
And great, wow, well done by Richard Walcott. Unfortunate for Janos Magasrevi, but he still retains that fastest lap with a 105.6. Followed by Lalancette. He's alone in his little world, but those are great points for Great points for Lalancette. Acosta.
He was going slow, but I freaked out, but for no reason whatsoever. That was a fake freak out because
he crossed the line. He crossed the line. Yeah, so
I've seen Tate do this to me before, though. Remember?
I remember. He's the first one on the. He's the first one to lap down, so that's why it happened like that. So I think the order is pretty much settled.
The dust has settled.
I did not expect this situation to unfold like it did.
Yeah, another win from Josh Mills out of the blue, stolen from Riera, based on, we think, one mistake, right, from Riera?
Yeah. Oh, we got people on the live. You got this Mills from Kevin Spain, and look at my man go from No Specifics, Josh Mills' girlfriend. We don't know her real name, but she's our.
Did she see the incident? Did she see the incident?
She said wow. She said wow when it happened, and we said wow when it happened, or we said what? I don't know what we said when it happened, but we did say something.
I would love to know. I would love to know the feedback from the family feedback on that one. Did look like we got Ricardo Senior apologizing, not buying it because you had your chance to let him pass and you didn't. So that's a fake sorry, that kids. But I think Mills and Riera. Do you think racing incident there, Francois?
I think so, because they were going so hard at it. Because sometimes when Mills was so much on the inside of the next turn, he might have misjudged his braking point, and also you had that grass on the tires. So my question earlier was more on how your trip outside of the track is affecting your grip once you're back on it. And I want you to answer that.
I think there wasn't he wasn't off the track enough for that to be a big factor. But I think if Riera hadn't have pushed him so far over on towards the grass, then I think you could blame Josh Mills more. But I think that kind of set the tone, right? That both these guys were not going to give an inch, and something was going to happen. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, the driver on the outside is the one that usually that ends up going off, as we saw Haney lose twice because he was on the outside. So I think racing incident, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think Riera will protest it. He's not that type of driver. And Mills, again, breaks Riera's streak and keeps winning for Red Bull. So great day for Red Bull.
Yeah, very much. And as you said about Riera, he's not that type of driver. We remember in Melbourne, he suffered from a thing like that at the end when he was, so a back marker was in front of him at the end before the piff path, and he almost lost control. He had to go into kitty litter, and he couldn't attack Josh Mills for that first victory. And I think nothing happened out of that. So that is just close. Well, if things stays like that and there's no penalty, it is going to provide us with a closer cap. In the drivers' championship. Now it was 14 points. There is no fast lap for both of these drivers, but they're just exchanging first and second. So I think it's just gonna be like 8 points more for Riera. So a lead of 8 points for Riera if my calculations are good. So the order for that race, but because we have yet to say it, Josh Mills, the victory with that really incredible situation that happened between him and Riera. That mistake probably from Riera that we missed, but we just saw Mills and Riera side by side fighting it out. Fun stuff for everybody because we wanted a battle to unfold. Riera in second position. Richard Walcott held that third position wonderfully. I think he's my driver of the day. Especially because it was an impressive drive. A good effort by Janos Magasrevi. Always there, the best lap of the race, fastest lap, sorry. And especially trying that undercut that would have worked perfectly if Riera would have stopped. And then you got Jean-Pierre Lalancette for Red Bull, so that wraps up the top 5, but a good drive from Lalancette, scoring good points for the Red Bull team.
Yep, McLaren continued to get some points. OTTO, reasonably quiet day. We saw a little bit of feisty from him, but a quiet day in P6. Elise Tape, a little bit up and down. 7th, probably about right, I think, for the speed in that car. Bill Worrell, a great drive from him. I think we have to give some love for Bill. P8, another solid points haul. That's 4 points. It's always nicer to get 4 points as opposed to 2 points in P9. It's nice when it starts to double like that. Cooper, like we said, just didn't have the pace, but McLaren do 2 cars scoring points again, which is their specialty.
Yeah.
Castillo in the Alpine was on fire at the end and was firing people out the way, but we'll see if that one sticks in P10. I think the most exciting part of that race was obviously the collision between Josh Mills and Riera. It gave me
shocker
flashbacks of Hamilton, Verstappen at Silverstone.
Yeah, exactly.
Where, they just were going at it, and you knew eventually something was going to happen. And in the end, that was deemed a racing incident. And I think this one in the end would be too. So I have to give driver of the day actually to Josh Mills, just because to steal the win and to get the excitement. If we're going to say that it's a racing incident, then we can't really dock him for it. And I think that he stole the win today, because I think Riera overall, the car was a little bit faster, and that just shows one mistake in SimRacingHub and you're not going to win.
True that. And on that note, it reminded me exactly the same thing. The two leaders of the championship really close to each other, fighting hard and not, for the same piece of real estate. And funny you mentioned Silverstone, because it is our next event. July 11th, we're going to be at Silverstone for the 2024 British Grand Prix, live from Silverstone, a track that I really, really like. And we'll bring a lot of water there and have a great time with our lads.
Something should be a good one. A home race for me, of course. Home commentary race, which means I don't know what that means in the commentary booth. We're gonna have to figure that one out. So I missed your home one. Obviously, and your home one is really home.
We had maple syrup. So I made free maple.
Don't you live above the track?
It's quite noisy at some times.
Yeah.
So on that note, well, thanks everybody for tuning in and watching the Sim Racing Hub F1 on GTCQ TV. I'm Francois. He's Matt Hartley. We're going to see you all in 2 weeks at Silverstone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And you have a last word you want to say, Matt, before we close it out?
Yeah. Rest in peace, Henry Surtees.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Henry Surtees. Have a good